What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while. We missed a week, but to make it up to you, we got two episodes this week. Right now, we're going to talk about Lucha Underground and the latest episode with my special guest here, Masp. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So, did you see the latest episode of Lucha Underground lately, the Ultimate Lucha Tres?
Yes, I have. I've seen all of Ultima Lucha so far.
Bro, I don't even know where to begin, but
Like you could
let's
basically start on any match and it's gonna be worthy of talking about.
yeah, man. Let's start with um the first match I can remember. That match, the match that comes to mind is between this guy Dante Fox and
Kill
Killshot.
shot.
Dude,
Yeah.
that match was just flat out brutal. I don't even know where to begin.
I mean, from the jump I was invested into it, just from the storyline itself. You
Yeah,
had two like war dudes, one who I think abandoned the other, and like the other dude like comes back from the dead, and then who knows, like this feud would all it would like they would feud like this just to end it at Ultima Lucha. It was just a great build up that if you were paying attention beforehand, you were definitely invested in the storyline.
yeah. I think that if I can remember, Dante Fox was in the Afghanistan war, I think, and then he got captured and tortured and left for dead, and he held a lot of bitterness towards Killshot,
Yep.
and what better way to take it out on him than by actually going to the temple and beating the crap out of him.
And their previous matches before this match at Ultima Lucha, all their matches have been like really great. So to see it like evolve over time and then now get like a hardcore, crazy, brutal perspective from it was just crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I was saying in other podcasts, actually, talked about it on social media, where it's like how wrestling is a drama, and everybody
Yeah.
has their own reasons for getting into it. And in this
Yep.
situation, what better way to humiliate and destroy someone's pride and character than to actually beat them at their own game. And,
Yeah.
and you know, that's what I love about this storyline is that he could have beat him up in on the street or somewhere, and but it wouldn't have the same impact as if he actually beat him in the ring.
Do you remember when Dante Fox first like came into the temple? How like his move set wasn't as advanced as it is now, and it's
Yeah,
mainly because he was playing into that angle that he was like this newcomer inside the temple, just seeing how things work. But he put his like agility to his strength, and from there, like it wasn't a thing where you thought, oh, this guy is very gifted in the ring. It's no, he's using his agility and how precise he moves just to get around and do these moves. And then over time, it just became believable when he started adding more things into his move set. It was just so great to see.
yeah, like he came up there and beat him up, and then he was like, "You left me for dead." I'm not a fan of either of them, but I gotta appreciate the build up, the storyline, and the
am,
actual match
am
itself.
I remembering correctly when I remember seeing like Killshot do like the gun pointed towards Killshot's head after it
Yeah,
like beat him?
yeah,
Yeah, that like we had so many great visuals and just great matches out of this feud that the actual match at Ultima Lucha, just seeing the things that they brought into it, how it was like three different matches,
yeah,
it was just so cool.
yeah. That was just hella creative, and And the thing that just amazed me was how freaking Killshot was getting dominated. I think he was getting dominated like at the first round of the match.
Yeah, he was getting
And
messed
then,
up.
yeah, he was getting effed up. And then finally, remind me what happened, but finally, Dante Fox like puts him through this window pane, and I lost it at that point. I was yelling and crap. I was like, oh, just seeing the blood and everything, and him arching his back in unbearable pain. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
man. I think that's one thing that's underrated about this match too. It's like they didn't have to make someone bleed from the head, and they didn't have to do it in some crazy fashion. It was as simple as
Yeah.
setting up some glass, slamming you
Oh.
through it, and then it shows on your back.
Yeah, see, this is the thing I don't like about hardcore matches, and I think uh, cutting someone up in the head, and making them bleed from the head is a bit overrated because it's actually very overrated because it doesn't really. I mean, I enjoy it, but there comes a point where it's not as impactful as having something like that done to you because
Well,
you know
yeah,
let, let-
because you just don't normally see someone bleeding from their back on like American TV. Like it's
yeah,
just not something you see in pro wrestling. And
yeah,
as far as I know from like WWE, the most that they'll get with like blood on your back is like thumbtacks, which if you look, it really doesn't leave that much like compared to what glass will do to you when it explodes.
yeah.
It's
Oh
totally different. And if you looked on their backs throughout this match, they just looked sickening, like someone had just
yeah.
grated meat off their back. It was
Oh
another level of brutality, and I don't think it's ever been matched. Like I was watching uh, Dave Meltzer and whoever he does his thing with, but
yeah,
the person his co-host was actually spot on with everything he was saying that you will hardly ever get a match like this on like American TV with pro wrestling, and the fact that we did get this just shows that Lucha Underground is ahead of its time.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that. But man, and especially the part when Dante Fox uh he brings out this huge barbed wire board out. Oh my,
Oh yeah,
and then he sets it up, and I just love the build up to it. Like you think you were wondering who's gonna go through that next, who's gonna go through that next, and then until finally I think Dante Fox goes through it, and I was like,
yeah.
oh,
He runs that kill shot, and kill shot just flips him into it.
oh, everybody lost it. I had,
And what the sickest part about that is that after he took that spot when they moved on to the stipulation of like the stretcher,
yeah,
uh when Dante Fox had like rolling off the stretcher, a piece of his skin was just laying on the stretcher. And I was like, "Oh my god, dude, that is
yeah,
disgusting."
dang, man, that was my stomach churned at that.
Well, I
Oh
was eating at the time, so I was like, straight up, my meal was
yeah,
destroyed.
dude, that was insane. And did you see the blood on his back and everything, and the way?
Yup.
Oh, I sure hope that was a prop or something, because if that was real, dang. Oh my goodness, I can't. I sure hope that. I sure hope he didn't actually, lose.
You know
But if
what
he
else I
did,
thought was really cool in this?
you know what?
Something I thought that was really cool in this. When Killshot, like these guys have been in the ring like with each other like on multiple different occasions. So them like learning each other's move set is like something that you would expect. There's a part in the match where Killshot goes to do that thing where he throws himself back, but he kicks right back up.
Yeah.
But as soon as he kicks back up, Dante Fox just throws a chair directly at his head. Spot on, makes the noise and everything. That was like
Oh
the
my
most
God.
crazy spot. Before they even
Yeah.
brought out the table and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that part was just insane to me.
Yeah, especially that sound that you hear when the boot hits the head and boom. Oh,
Yep.
ooh, that was
It
just
reminded me of like when Rey Mysterio on the one night stand where he went against Sabu. Like
yeah,
Rey Mysterio goes to
bro.
just go at
That yeah,
and Sabu just chucks the chair directly at his head.
especially the part when Ray jumps off the top rope trying to do a I don't know what his intent was, but he was trying to do a hurricanrana,
Yeah.
and after setting Sabu up on the chair, and then Sabu moves out of the way, and then he lands right on his balls. I had to hold my entire. Oh my god, the pain.
Did
Oh
you remember the spot in the Kill Shot versus Dante Fox match where Dante Fox slams Kill Shot through a chair off the top rope?
yeah,
That
bro,
part was
that
insane
hurt
too.
even me.
It's like they did so much damage to each other's backs in this match.
Yeah,
But it was refreshing to see because it's not like because every match it's like, oh, I'm gonna hit you with a DDT or ooh, I'm gonna work on your arm or your leg. It's I don't think the body is nearly paid attention to enough as like a a specific body part that you target. And it
yeah,
was cool to just see that play out in this match.
yeah. See, and it goes back to my point about you know people cutting their foreheads and stuff. It's
Yep.
I mean, at least from a from a fan's point of view, it doesn't really. I mean, it's dramatic, but it doesn't really do that much damage. The least it'll do is maybe blind them or something. But
At
well,
any point in the matchup between Dante Fox and Killshot, did you think it was too brutal?
no.
Okay, good. I saw a lot of people saying this, and I would like to see what you think about it. A lot of people were saying that they should at least like sweeped up and removed the glass from the ring. What is your stance on that?
No, keep it there
Yeah,
because
me too. Exactly how I feel.
because it just shows how much of a brutal and unforgettable match it was. Like,
And place. Like, let's not get this twisted. This is the temple. This isn't
yeah,
like this isn't like your pro wrestling, promotion that you go to
yeah,
here or there. This is the temple where warriors come from different tribes to
hell
fight, and it's just like
yeah. Go ahead.
it's just insane. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, it just shows how it's all about violence. It's all about
Yeah.
sacrificing humans and everything. It
And
just
that's what Dario says though. He
yeah,
says it in like multiple different uh like parts that he's given within the show. He says this place is where violence thrives and warriors come to fight. So
yeah. It just really shows that the temple isn't messing around.
yeah, they're living up to their whole gimmick.
It's not it's not your local family friendly promotion that other companies present. This is some hardcore extreme stuff right here.
And
If
what
you
did
don't
you
got a
think
stomach or heart, then don't watch it.
exactly? What did you think about the ending to the match?
um, that was just unforgettable. The part, especially the part when they uh, Killshot is just dazed. He's weakened. He's on the verge of losing,
Yeah.
and then Dante Fox just does his signature gesture, and then you'd think that Dante Fox would win the match by throwing him over that huge window pane, but then
Yeah.
hits him with a wine bottle at the back of the head, and then you just see Dante Fox go limp, and he just falls, and he just crashes, and it just boom. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, dude. As soon as I saw him fall through that glass, like for a second time, I was like, this match has got to be one of the most insane matches I've seen this year, hands
yeah.
down.
I was, yeah, like for for uh for those 3 rounds when they did stuff like that, I had to just process all that emotionally, physically, psychologically. I had to just take a breather and just my jaw dropped when that happened. I just just I spaced out and because
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think the best part about the ending to the match was like how at the end when Killshot puts him in the ambulance, like he knocks on the door and puts his fist to it like as a show of respect,
yeah,
which I think throughout this match, if you're looking at it from like a non-biased perspective, you can clearly see that both superstars were held to the same value and neither was buried over the other because it was
yeah,
such a just a hard fought brutal match that whoever won just deserved it. It wasn't a thing where you questioned who won.
yeah, and that's what I loved about it too. Just the emotion. Even though Killshot won the match, he still felt pretty guilty
And he
over.
even had to do that to his homie. Like
Yeah,
it was hard for him to just do that, let alone
yeah,
slam him through glass and freaking bottles busted over each
yeah,
other's head, strangling each other.
yeah. That was just crazy, brutal, savage, bloody, everything. I loved how, but also what I also loved about this match was how it was. The match itself was symbolic of of who they actually were as soldiers. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was also it was a fitting match because Dante Fox was treated the same way under terrorists when he was tortured and everything. So he basically had a desire to do the exact same thing to Killshot, and that's just what made the match all the more brutal because
I totally agree.
you know that
Yep.
was and also another thing that I just loved about this match was the reactions from the fans and
Yeah. The
everybody
fans were
was,
really into it.
yeah, everybody was just going ballistic. They were, uh, even the ref covered his mouth. If you saw that scene where Killshot gets driven through the barbed wire and crap, he they were all
Yeah.
disgusted. They were all like horrified, scared, and everything. I
Yeah,
think,
man, because like you don't know when you get like when you pick yourself up and out of the barbed wire, like if your skin's gonna, if any skin's gonna be ripped off, if there's gonna be like a deep cut.
yeah,
It's just so hard to tell, and just for people to be watching that, it's only gonna concern the masses.
yeah, yo, Melissa Santos wasn't even looking at it. She was just gone.
I feel bad for her, man. She has to sit through Ultima Lucha, seeing all this brutality.
Oh my gosh. And the blood in the ring.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
What other matches were there now? Um. Oh, I remember one. What did you think about Tejano and Famous B? Now Tejano's his client.
I didn't like that match, honestly. I felt it was just I felt Tejano deserved a better opponent and
I
uh
see what you mean.
Famous B wasn't really that guy. I think it could have been better if Dr. Wagner Jr. faced Tejano one on one.
Yeah.
It was good at first because they were actually wrestling each other. And if you're familiar with Dr. Wagner Jr., he's big in Mexico.
Yeah, I've heard his name mentioned a lot. And
Yeah,
whenever he first showed up on Lucha Underground, I did like a few searches of him, watched a few matches, and I was quite impressed. I just think my opinion on this whole storyline, I think it's good for what they were trying to do with it. They had been building up this Famous B and Tejano partnership for a while, but Tejano always being against it. Famous B has to find some way to try and convince him or stuff like that. So for like Tejano to just like take uh like accept the match, I thought was just I knew what was coming just from him like accepting the match and stuff like that. I saw where the storyline was gonna go. I didn't know that Dr. Wagner was gonna be Famous B's teammate in this, but that I think that made it cool too. Although it was awkward when like Dr. Wagner was out of the action for so long. It's like, well, wait, he didn't get beat up that bad.
yeah. I felt like honestly, I felt like um, Dr. Wagner was just not presented the way he should have been
Yeah,
because
it was
he's
kind of a waste of his
yeah
appearance. I feel like they
yeah
could have made more with it.
yeah because he's if you look at his work in CMLL or AAA, this guy was just a big stage main event star. He was the matches he put up were just on a large scale, phenomenal level. Like if you watched El Macias versus Dr. Wagner Jr. in their title matches, and
I
around, I
didn't
think,
even know they faced off.
yeah, they did,
That's
and
dope. I'm gonna have to watch that.
yeah, the whole feud was just incredible. Same, and the matches themselves, like they were just insane, like epic,
As
and
for the ending of the match between Tejano and Famous B, I do like the fact that Tejano's now Famous B's client, and now like it can actually the focus can actually go back onto Tejano rather than this like side storyline that he's been in. Whenever whatever they do with Tejano, I'm always down to root for because he's just that good in my opinion.
yeah, he's a beast in uh in Lucha Underground and I also dig his work in AAA.
Yeah,
But I think
and I
I
think
was
that was all of night one was just
yeah
that match in Killshot versus Dante Fox.
yeah I'm not really I don't remember, but I think
I'm actually like skimming through some highlights, and I it's that's what I'm seeing. That it
yeah
was just two matches for night one.
huh yeah um I didn't yeah I thought the storyline was it was kind of interesting, especially when Brenda sees Tejano and Irma in the bar.
Yeah,
She's like, "You're boring," and then he's like, "Tejano is not boring." I legit thought that she was gonna cheat on Famous B with Tejano, so I was like, "Oh crap!"
that's funny.
Fortunately, that really didn't happen because she was like, "All you need is a woman's touch." But
So as
but
for night one of Ultima Lucha, what'd you think about it?
aside from what?
What did you think about night one as a whole of Ultima Lucha? Because it was just those two matches for night one.
Um, I like the Dante Fox. Was it the Dante Fox versus Killshot match?
Yeah,
I thought that made night one for me. That was
I
the
think that was the whole point. I think it was you're supposed to get some sort of humor and comedy from the payoff of Tejano versus Famous B, and then you were supposed to get that brutal main event that everybody had to look forward to a great storyline between two really great extreme competitors. And I think it
yeah
was just a great. I think night one was great. It didn't
Yeah.
give you too much. It didn't give you too little. It was just the right amount, and it got you excited for what was to come next from Ultima Lucha.
Yeah, totally. And the only thing I enjoyed kind of was when Tejano was about to beat the crap out of out of Famous B.
Yeah, he's pissed, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to be his client. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing I enjoyed. Other than that, could have been better.
Okay.
Decent.
You want to move on to night two now?
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing that I'm seeing was a promo between Ivelisse and uh what's his name?
Katrina?
No, it's the dude. Sammy Callahan. What's his name in Lucha Underground?
Um
Oh, that's messed up, dude. We can't forget his name.
was it this guy her was it her boyfriend or something like
Yeah. It
I
was the dude after Son of Havoc.
um dang, I can't remember his name. It was
I'm looking it up.
Cortez, something like that. No, not no. I forgot that dude's name. Like
Jeremiah Crane.
yeah.
God damn it, man. That they should not name this guy that name.
I
Look
didn't
how
like
hard that was to remember.
yeah,
God.
I didn't like him honestly. He was just forgettable. Like I mean, I guess he was good for a while, with the storyline between Mil Muertes, Katrina, and I guess that's
To,
the only thing I enjoyed about him. But other than that, it was like,
to me, it just
eh,
feels like he's had the potential to be doing something, but everything that they've put him in has been like passable, but nothing that is like wowed everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like usually when you have the match with Mil Muertes, that really decides if the fans are behind you or not. And
yeah,
with his match with Mil Muertes, I just don't think it went one clear way over another. Like when you see with Puma or Phoenix or Pentagon, like they
yeah,
clearly come out of it with with something extra, and I don't feel like Jeremiah Crane really got that. Also, I like how Ivelisse in this like opening promo, she really gave no fucks about Jeremiah Crane, like because he's now interested in Katrina, and she's like, I don't need you, and she just like kicks his ass into a stall and breaks like the bathroom. So I'm like, holy shit, man, she's gonna take care of business tonight, and
yeah. I was, oh
that had
crap.
me looking forward to the match, man. That had me pumped up.
Yeah, but what did you think of the actual match itself?
The actual match itself, I liked the brutality to it. I wasn't expecting much of like a wrestling match because Katrina's just not she's not an in-ring talent that is always wrestling. So I expected them to work around that, and her hiding in Dario's office was hilarious.
Yeah,
Then she just pops out of nowhere and is just busting
boom.
bottles over Ivelisse's head. I'm like, what the fuck did this turn into?
I
I was
know.
I was shocked as hell, man. And then you see Ivelisse bleeding, and like
Oh yeah, I said,
it was
dang.
cool though because I don't get to see women bleed that much in wrestling.
Yeah,
So just to see this and see how they worked with it, I thought it was dope.
yeah. As soon as I heard that sound, that crash sound, that pop sound, boom! I said, "Oh man, that was just." I was like, "God, what a shot!"
And
But
man, I love the fact that they came out with like some dope ring attire, man. I
yeah,
was feeling it.
yeah, it was distracting though.
I don't. Hey, that's the kind of distraction I like in wrestling.
But yeah, I think uh, I didn't like the match per se, but I just love the brutality and
And what was crazy is like the brutality didn't even end with that match. Like right after Evilise won, Jeremiah Crane came out and just destroyed her ankle with a hammer.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was I
oh,
was
God.
I was like I was just like shocked as hell, dude.
Yeah, and then didn't Katrina save her or something? I forgot. I can't remember.
No, I think he, Jeremiah Crane saved Katrina after the
Oh,
match, and
yeah,
then I don't know what happened after that.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't really, a fan of either of them. Well, okay, in some ways I am, but some ways not.
So coming out of it, do you like or do you dislike the match itself?
I just like the blood and
So you really didn't enjoy the match.
nah, it wasn't
Okay,
long enough.
that's
And
cool.
yeah, it just
Yeah, me, I just thought it was cool because it was finally Ivelisse getting her revenge on Katrina. Even though she got the win, that was cool that she finally, it paid off. But to have Jeremiah Crane come in and destroy Ivelisse's ankle, I think that's I think it may lead towards something in the match that Jeremiah Crane has with Mil Muertes and Cage,
yeah,
but I don't know for sure. Um, but yeah, I think that's the reason why they had him come in and destroy Ivelisse's ankle. And I thought it was a good match for what they were trying to do with the storyline. Didn't really expect much from Katrina as far as wrestling. Brutality was there, so I couldn't hate on it.
yeah. Hopefully, we'll see what goes down as far as the storyline goes.
Yeah. The and I think like what started out the night before that was a battle royal that um the Mac won.
Yeah, I
Did you
don't.
watch that?
Yeah, I don't remember much of it though.
Me
Oh
neither.
yeah, I think.
I was just checking, but this got the Mac a unique opportunity for the tag team titles,
Yeah.
and he was gonna go against the Reptile Tribe with Dante Fox and Killshot, and
Oh,
Dario was so messed up. He's like, if they're even still alive or something like that, or if they're even still in pieces. It's like, damn, man, you hooked the Mac up with two wounded opponents. You call this a unique opportunity? They got to go against the Reptile Tribe.
yeah,
It's like that's like death.
yeah. He's a corrupt bastard.
Yeah, but it's so cool though. He's giving you an opportunity, but even though he's giving you an opportunity, is it an opportunity you really want? Because
I
going into it, like the Mac has no idea if Killshot and Dante Fox will even work together.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really wanted to see Cobra Moon wrestle. Like just seeing her on the sidelines, it was
I
just
think she is gonna wrestle.
hopefully.
I think the payoff is between her and Drago because Drago wants to be free.
Oh, okay, man.
So yeah,
That I love the storyline to between her and Drago, and
yeah.
that was really interesting.
And
Just
the final thing that was on this night's Ultima Lucha was Marty the Moth versus Phoenix. What did you think about that?
bro. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not a fan of either of them, but
Oh,
this match was just killer.
yeah,
I don't even know if words could even describe the level of brutality and savagery and emotion that this match had. I like this match, even though
yeah,
I don't really dig either of them, but this match, wow. Um,
yeah. I agree, man. Like just seeing how this since the first time I even remember seeing Marty the Moth, he was doing this like obsessed gimmick with uh Melissa Santos, and to finally see this come to like an ending and
Yeah.
like a conclusion. It was crazy, and just to see how everything played out. Phoenix, he always delivers such a great performance at Ultima Lucha. With everything he does in Lucha Underground, really is worth watching because they're always giving him great storylines, great angles, uh, and just whatever he does in the ring works out throughout the matches that he does have. And I thought it was crazy how it ended because I did not expect Mariposa to turn on her brother. That was totally unexpected for me.
Yeah. Yeah, um that was insane. And I love the build up to it. Remember when Melissa Santos and Phoenix had a relationship going on, and then Marty the Moth was jealous and obsessive
Yeah.
as crap. And then okay, now I'm not really a fan of romance and wrestling, but just seeing the relationship Melissa had with Phoenix was just it was adorable in a way. Because remember that scene when they were training and uh and
Oh
then
yeah,
Phoenix,
I remember what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Phoenix,
remember that. That was see, that's one of the reasons why I love Lucha Underground is because they can do things that certain companies like, and they can do things that certain promotions and stuff can't do when they go into these kind of storylines. If
yeah.
WWE was to do something like this, people would automatically say it's corny and it's cheesy and it's terrible.
Yeah,
But
I just
Lucha Underground, because it takes itself as a wrestling show, because that's what it is, they're able to succeed with storylines like this, and they do it very well.
yeah. And what made that scene powerful was just how they somehow intermingle, the lucha libre tradition
Yeah.
and just the symbolism behind what the masks represent. And
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you, what did you think about Phoenix mask getting tore up in this match by Marty?
I was uh I was just cringing because it was hard
Because
to watch.
he ripped it really bad to the point where you could clearly see Phoenix's face.
Yeah, but not really.
As,
And that was just, oh my gosh. Is
like his mask was barely on, bro. Like it
Yeah,
was barely still on,
angle.
and it's kind of like the stipulation came soon, because it's like mask versus hair. It's like Marty kind of already took half your mask off, so you
Yeah.
better win this because if not, you're screwed.
Yeah, what I think what the hardest the most hard-hitting moment about this match was how he was almost about to kill Phoenix. Like, forget the mask. Remember how he had the pair of scissors in his hand, and looked like he was about to slit his throat right there, and just
Yeah, yeah.
Melissa and I
It was,
was,
but it was
oh,
crazy because leading up to that particular part, like it was just a brutal destruction of Phoenix, and Melissa was getting like more like uncomfortable as it happened, so she had to like intervene and basically save Phoenix's life in the process.
yeah, that was really emotional because she was just getting frantic and saying, "I'll run away with you, Marty. Stop, Marty, stop. I'll run away with you." And she was willing to sacrifice her own relationship with Phoenix, and just to save his life. And I was just, dang.
Also, if you saw at the ending, like when Phoenix finally came back and pinned
Yeah,
Marty,
yeah,
she jumps on the pin too. Like she's trying to make sure Phoenix gets the win as soon as possible, and it was just crazy to see. And this was like after Mariposa had just left Marty out there by himself,
yeah,
so it was crazy. And then you had Mariposa meet Marty back up at the top of the steps. She
yeah,
clocked him with the chair and handcuffed him, and then the
yeah.
rest was history for Marty's hair, man.
Yeah, did you see the fans like in the bleachers that like some of them were actually crying during that during that scene and some and as far as Mariposa goes, it was expected because remember that scene that when Marty was rubbing he was rubbing a picture of Melissa in his junk and everything. You know, he was getting she was like,
I remember a scene where Mariposa is like beating the hell out of Marty because she noticed his obsession with her. And like I mean in a way it was expected, but it's not how I saw this particular angle playing out, if you know what I mean, because it would make no sense for Mariposa to help Phoenix or Melissa Santos when Phoenix has kind of somewhat been on her and Marty's radar for a while.
yeah,
So that part didn't particularly make sense to me, but the fact that like they played into Mariposa just being sick of Marty's obsession and feeling he has to learn his lesson. So she
yeah,
basically just does it the hard way, and even when he tries to run after the match, she just clocks him with a chair, handcuffs him, and it's like, there you go.
wow,
You wanted this, now you got it. And it was crazy. If this potentially leads to Mariposa versus Marty the Moth, I I will not be mad or disappointed. That is a match I will definitely want to see, especially after Marty got his haircut. Like I
yeah.
would
Oh
like to see
my
him
god,
come back more vicious, more creepy, more like mentally insane, and just like go after your sister, a brother sister war. Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like Mariposa was just not having his weakness, you know, with which was his obsession with Melissa. So she just decided to clock him upside the head and chain him up and everything. And um,
That was actually all of night two that we just finished
yeah,
right
but
there.
dude, that scene when okay, if he would have left without honoring the stipulation, I would have been pissed.
Oh hell yeah. The fans were
So
like you could tell their emotions were starting to get like build up because they're like, wait, this motherfucker's trying to leave? Like
yeah,
nobody was having that shit.
but
So
then but
I
then
mean I felt like what were you gonna say?
okay, but then when I saw
No, go ahead.
then when I saw his head getting shaved, I was like, you know what? I take that back because I have long hair and just seeing dude's hair getting shaved, I was just like, oh my god, that was hard for me to watch because it's like I don't want to. I would hate to be in his shoes right now.
Yeah, man. And all those people just laughing at him.
But did you see the blonde chick on the side? The way she was freaking out and crap over his hair getting cut.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Oh my gosh. I
So
felt
what did
bad.
you think of what did you think of I think this is night three or night two?
Yeah, night two.
Yeah, so what did you think of night two as a whole? The battle royal with the Mac winning the unique opportunity. Uh
I
what
thought
else was on
um,
this?
I thought the one with Marty and Phoenix made that night. I mean, I don't really, I wasn't really a fan of of much of the previous matches, but I could and then I could just say that that one match just made my day.
I would I would say it sucked to see Mac lose his opportunity when he or lose when he had his opportunity at the uh Lucha Underground Championship. But to see him get the unique opportunity and win that, that was cool. Plus, I was looking forward to see what condition Killshot and Dante Fox would be in. So
Yeah,
that I thought was a good way to kick off the second night. And then you had Katrina versus Evilise again, two really sexy women in Lucha Underground that that they always have my attention whenever they're in the ring.
Heck yeah.
So it was just a win overall, getting to see that match and getting to see a female bleed. That was really dope. And then you even got to see even more blood and more brutality in a match that was just a mask versus hair match, and that had a really big payoff to it. And it's something that Marty the Moth ran with for so long as his like gimmick in Lucha Underground, always messing with Melissa Santos. So I thought night two was was even better than night one, but again, it just has me looking forward to more of Ultima Lucha.
Yeah, especially that match that Marty the Moth had with Killshot. I forgot what it's called. It was I think it was a War is Hell match, something like that.
Yeah.
That was bloody. That was just flat out brutal, and it just it was
What do
just
you say? You got more time to run through part three?
yeah. Go
All
ahead.
right. So we got Taya versus Sexy Star starting out night three.
I didn't like that match.
You didn't?
Nah, and I like the storyline, and I expected a bigger payoff, but the match itself was just.
How much of the storyline do you remember?
I remember Taya cheating Sexy Star out of
Oh yeah, the Lucha Underground Championship, right?
yeah, yeah, that and her interfering in some of her matches with with Johnny Mundo and other people. And
Yeah, honestly, I think this is like Evilise versus Katrina version 2, but just
yeah,
different chicks. But again, I'm not hating on them because with what they did in these matches, I think it says a lot about the performers and just the competitors that they are.
yeah,
Like because like you're not. This was definitely on a higher level of brutality compared to Evilise versus Katrina, because these chicks were chopping each other throughout the entire match, and like you could hear the sounds echo,
yeah,
literally echo off of each other smacking each other. So I thought it was a really cool match for what it was. Again, getting to see more female brutality is something that we don't usually see. So the fact that we got so much of it on Ultima Lucha, I was just so happy, dude.
yeah. I thought that I thought it was gonna be on the scale of or Mariposa versus Sexy Star in that No Mas
Oh,
match.
really? That's
Yeah,
hard to live up to, though. That's
yeah,
hard.
yeah. But I was the reason why it was disappointing is because in a in a last stand in a last man standing match, to me it's supposed to be slower. It's supposed to be more dramatic.
Oh, yeah. This
You
is where me and you are really going to disagree because
know?
because I feel like you'll see something happen in WWE, and even if it's a new stipulation that they're adding in or something like that, over time there just becomes this like preconceived notion that this is the way this match should go or this is the way this kind of match should go. I thought it was extremely refreshing to see a last person standing match where basically in this match they didn't even have a part where one chick was down and the ref was really counting. It was just we're gonna beat the shit out of each other till one of us can't get back up. And it wasn't like a thing where the ref had to come in every like 5 minutes and be like 1, 2, 3. Like it wasn't like that. It was just as simple as we're gonna beat the hell out of each other, then we're gonna drag each other up onto the top of where this camera is, then we're both gonna fall off through 2 tables, and whoever gets up wins the match. And I thought it was just a great payoff. Also, like if you weren't really convinced to like the match, at least you did notice how brutal it was when you saw Sexy Star like climbing up and like you get a glimpse of her chest and it's like all bloody and like red is like
Yeah,
it was sickening, bro.
yeah. That was the only part that I liked when they just dove off and just crashed right through the table. And and Sexy Star got up. But other than that, I thought it could have been better, especially when for some reason they had the brass knuckles and bats and everything, but for some reason they just didn't use it. I don't know
Yeah.
why,
I,
but
I, I see how that could be like misleading for so much of the people who wanted to see those weapons.
yeah, I was expecting.
It honestly would have made more sense they were when Taya got busted open. If because if you remember, she was like grinding her face into like this locker type thing
Yeah,
that was ringside. It would have been better if Sexy Star had kept her brass knuckles, and after she had like dragged her face on it, just like have a few punches to her.
yeah,
That way, it seems like it wasn't just her face against that fencing that busted her open, but it have it seem more brutal, as if you did it with the brass knuckles.
yeah. I felt like they could have done something on that level.
Yeah,
Just use brass knuckles on each other and then just start the count like one, two, three. And or at least have like have three different segments where it, one wrestler gets driven through a table or something crazy or something extreme like that, and then it
yeah,
just completely devastating, and then the count starts, and you're just there, like hoping somebody gets up, or you know, I thought it would have been better that way, but I mean, um, although I do see how they're trying to do something different
yeah,
far as as far as the last man standing matches go, with just one big grand finale.
yeah. Because like to me, it was like a roller coaster ride throughout the whole matchup, because they were taking it out into the audience, and they were doing so many different things in the match that like when it did get to that, like, because even Sexy Star, she did what Katrina did, and she started busting a bottle over Taya's head. So I thought it was cool how you had like someone who was a face, like in Sexy Star, doing that to Taya, and the night before you had someone who's more of a heel in Katrina doing that to Evilise. So
Yeah,
I think it was cool how the story, like, you could compare the matches, but the storylines and just what has happened in these storylines is so different,
yeah. I thought,
because like it was a thing where Taya was going out of her way to really traumatize Sexy Star after what she had been through with uh, the Mariposa feud, and then losing her title to Johnny Mundo after Taya screwed her out of her title.
yeah,
And with Evilise and Katrina, it was a thing where no matter where Evilise got in Lucha Underground, there would always be Katrina holding her back. So she had like no other option but to face Katrina.
yeah. I see. How that would probably go down, but I thought this match was. I didn't. I guess I just didn't like how. I mean, I did like how they were chopping each other, but when they were, I guess it got a little bit too excessive at to a point later, and when Taya grabs her by the legs and bashes her head against the announcer's table, like I mean, I've already seen that done with Mariposa, so
Yeah.
I thought that just when Taya did it, it just looked less powerful,
Yeah,
and
I see what you mean.
so I thought they could have at least they could have done something different, and because I mean you don't have to do the same thing again to make it more power to make something more powerful. I mean,
Yeah, and because it'll seem to some fans that like you're just recycling something from another good
yeah,
feud that doesn't
yeah,
really need to be brought into it. Because like there's so many different things that Taya could be doing with Sexy Star that doesn't have to reflect what Mariposa and Sexy Star did. It could be their own sort of thing, which I feel it
yeah,
sort of was. But I do see. your point in that. I definitely see what you mean.
Yeah, so this is my thoughts. Like I
Next
think that
matchup. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Finish.
no, I that's all I got to say.
Okay, cool.
Matchup.
Next matchup we had was the Reptile Tribe versus the Mac, Killshot, and Dante Fox. What'd you think?
Um, I liked it. I liked how creative it was with with the Mac and having two opponents that were basically still bloodied up and battered
Yup,
and
bandaged
were,
up and
yeah, that was really
I thought it was
especially
crazy. I thought it was crazy how right off the bat Dante Fox was like, "Nah, I got this. I'm gonna start this, even though I lost just previously. Freaking
yeah,
shredded my back, but I'm still gonna fight this one."
yeah, and
And that's really what stood out to me in this match is that the guys who were more hurt were like, "Let us try this out first. Let us like do what we can while we're still fresh, and then the Mac's gonna take care of it from there."
yeah,
So it was mainly a thing of like cat and mouse between the bigger members of the Reptile Tribe versus Killshot and Dante Fox, which they played a really good part in this whole match, even with them being injured.
yeah, I agree. And um especially that part when Dante Fox he doesn't move and then he's just in pain and that just really made the match more exciting because it's like, oh gosh, what's going to happen next? It's is he going to get pinned or something? Oh crap.
Yeah, it was crazy like to see him do a move and then like he'd be hurt from it just as bad because of his back or something like that. And then you
Yeah,
had like I think right after Dante Fox, it was Killshot. He's like, "I'm getting in now," and then that's when you saw like I think Dante no Killshot. He was getting like destroyed, and for a second, Matt Stryker and Vampiro acknowledged how Dante Fox was trying to help Killshot in a way, as
yeah,
it's like he's letting go of their previous feud because they have respect for each other now.
yeah,
That they can actually function as a team somewhat.
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't a thing where like I quickly forgive him or anything like that. It was a thing where he's like, he acknowledges Killshot and how hard that he's been working after what they've been through. That it's just a sign of respect. And then you got the Mac coming in here destroying half of the reptile tribe by himself. I loved this, man.
Yeah. Even though I have mixed feelings towards him using the Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like, I'm not really sure how to feel about this. I mean, I understand that, no move is 100% original,
Yeah.
but it's like when you're using, it's like you're using somebody else's move, to I could
I think it's, but like, would it be different to you if he did something like if he did the stunner a different way? Would it be something that you'd be okay with, or is it something that you think the stunner? Maybe we could just leave that to Austin.
I mean, I thought it was good when the first time he did it at Ultima Lucha 1 with
Oh, I
Cage.
can't remember that.
I thought that was funny
It,
because it was meant as a tribute to Stone Cold. But when
well, I
but
think that's what it's always been, hasn't it?
well, yeah, okay. Yeah. But I think it got to a point where it was like I guess it just got too excessive and and it just felt like he was just doing it for the sake of doing it. Mm, and I don't
Yeah,
know,
I could.
you know. I'm
I disagree just because, I'm super, because like where you'll find someone who's somewhat, strict with, you know, being cool with other people doing certain moves and stuff like that. I think as long as it's looking believable and it's not done in like a disrespectful way, that like, yeah, it might not be for me, but it's cool. Like it's not nothing that I go out of my way to, dislike or anything like that. But I think the Mac does it okay. Uh, Not, like to me, it's not even a big deal because now you see like Dolph Ziggler and the Young Bucks using the super kick so much.
yeah,
It's like so many of these like sacred moves that you would think are so sacred really aren't anymore. It's like people are gonna do them regardless, so might as well let the most talented people do them.
yeah. But I feel like um, wrestlers should use one move and in a different way because
Yeah,
it just brings something new, something fresh, something intense. Like um, that's one of the reasons why um, guys um, like like guys like Raven were my favorites because he did he does the DDT, which has been done before by Jake the Snake, but he did it. He added his own spin to it. He
yeah,
made it look more violent and more forceful, and he just went flat back.
yeah. I
Whenever,
think the only thing where that would be a problem though for the Mac would be just because it's clearly done as a tribute to Stone Cold. If he was to do it a different way, I don't think people would see it necessarily as a tribute to Stone Cold because
yeah,
if it doesn't look like it, it just doesn't look like it. So, I mean, it's just depends on what people like from a certain wrestler. It's just opinion there. But I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, what do you think about the tallest member of the reptile tribe?
Are we talking about
I don't know his name.
Vibora?
Is that his name? Yeah.
Freaky? That's all I have.
I call him what the fans call him, Luchasaurus,
Yeah,
because he's a
yeah,
freaking
because
giant man.
he looks like a freaking mixture of a serpent slash dinosaur. Dude is just
Yeah.
a freak. Man, I don't know how the heck they managed to pull that off, but that just looked mad. Oh, like first time I saw it, I was like, "What the heck is that?"
Dude, man, I saw this guy. I was like, this guy is like a combination of like all of the most giant, like scary dudes that you've seen in like WWE. Like you look at
Yeah,
he has like a presence sort of like an Undertaker. He
yeah,
has like he just has so many different traits that you see carried in so many other superstars from back in the day of WWE with the bigger dudes. It's like this dude's got it. This dude's
yeah.
got it right off the bat. And just seeing how the fans look at this dude and they're like, Luchasaurus. It's like you can't help but not love this gimmick already. It's getting off to such a good start.
Because it's creepy how the mask on his face, like it just looks like it's actually a part of his face. Like that's him.
Yeah,
It doesn't look
because
like actual mask. It looks like
his hair makes it blend in a little bit more with his look.
dude, that is sick.
And what's creepy about him though is that you'll see this guy, he's moving his head sideways and he's not really like impactful and explosive with his moveset. He's
Yeah,
like very slow and maniacal and he wants to get a hold of you. It was just and then you got like Matt Striker and Vampiro hyping this dude up even more. It
yeah,
fits so well.
yeah,
Did you see the part in the
yeah.
match where he goes to choke slam Dante Fox, but Dante Fox does like a backflip in his hand?
I think so.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. He goes to choke slam him, and then Dante Fox just flips over. It was
And
insane.
hits the ring the mat, and then he just gets it almost as if he got knocked out. I think.
I think let me see. Oh yeah, it's Dante Fox. Like he goes to choke slam Dante Fox. He does a backflip, and then when he lands on his feet, he goes to clothesline Dante, and then he does that same thing that Killshot does, where he kicks back up.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really dope setup. Then you had like Killshot and Dante Fox just trying to chop him down.
yeah, but that wasn't really, I mean, I just wanted to see Cobra Moon. I,
Really? What's with you and Cobra Moon?
I mean, I just love the character. She's got this sensual look about her and everything. She's got the smarts and
I feel you, man. I just think it's been great to see her more as like a leader rather than her in the ring, fighting people.
yeah.
I mean, I know she's got it, and I definitely want to see her wrestle, but I think what she's been doing has been great. Just and like how she interacts with her whole tribe. Like she's got Drago, who's basically like a prisoner to her. Then you got
Yeah.
these other two giant behemoths that just follow her word, and they're
Like
intimidating with their look.
yeah, she's like a goddess now.
Yeah, she really is.
Like
She's like the queen of her tribe. And if you mess with
yeah.
her, man, you're messing with Drago, which you don't want to mess with Drago, man.
They're
Fucking
gonna F you.
nunchucks, man.
Go ahead. What?
His nunchucks, man, and just seeing his presence, and then you
Oh.
add two giant dudes with him. Like, don't get on her bad side. That's just
You were just asking.
like she's literally got the most dominant force with her,
Yeah. I
and I
love
don't think that's acknowledged enough in Lucha Underground. It's like she has everything right now. Even though they just like lost the trios tag titles, she still has the most dominant force on Lucha Underground right now.
yeah. Especially I loved how she underwent a progression from being uh just a luchadora to being this queen goddess of the whole of a tribe and everything. Because her debut was solid, especially
Yeah,
she came in and touching herself like masturbating almost.
I don't know about that. I
Yeah,
mean,
you didn't.
she was clearly touching herself a lot, but like I don't know if it went
I
that
was
far.
whoa. She was rubbing her boobies and everything. Moving like, but the way she moved like a serpent, all flexible and crap. I was like, how the heck do you do all that crap?
Yeah,
That was,
she's real. She reminds me a lot of like how Randy Orton does his like snake movements. She really has like her own way of just moving in as her own character. Like you could see in a video game, right? Like if you play certain video games of like wrestling back in the day, you'll notice like when you're making your move set, which is the
yeah,
Undertaker's move because of just the way he moves. Also, same with Triple H, just the way he moves, you can tell uh, what what move is part of his move set when you're implicating it. So I think that's something that Cobra Moon carries within herself that is hard to just find in any character nowadays when you try and work their gimmick. And I think she's just got everything down. She's ready for whenever they want to throw her in a big matchup, which I think that'll be Drago.
yeah. One of my favorite matches with her was her and Sexy Star, and I think it was a submission match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember a few matches that they had. I don't has Cobra Moon and Mariposa faced off yet?
I don't think so. Maybe they
Yeah,
did.
I think that's a feud we need, man.
Yeah, they need a.
They'd have to find some way around Mariposa not having Marty with her, and Cobra having her whole reptile tribe, but I think that'd be a really great matchup.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
you think about throughout like I think near the end of this match when Dante Fox had like when well actually both Dante Fox and Killshot took out I think the bigger opponents of the reptile tribe by diving out of the ring. But then like the camera zoomed in on Dante Fox's back and he had like reopened his cuts.
Oh,
Did you see that?
yeah. That was a brutal reminder of what he went through. I thought that was unique. That's
Yeah, man, like I saw like right after he jumped out, he had to just lay on his stomach all softly because he was just in so much pain, dude.
yeah,
I felt so bad for him.
yeah. Just seeing, that piece of flesh that was removed, that was just cringe. I cringed at that scene,
Yeah.
at that shot. It just showed how impactful that match was to both of them.
Yeah. And what did you think about them winning Killshot, Dante Fox, and the Mac winning the Trios Tag Team title?
Um, I was okay with it. I mean, to
Me
be
too.
honest, I wasn't really a fan of any of them. So it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't really a match that I was looking for per se.
Yeah.
I was more into the matches that come after it or came after it
The
rather.
match that came after it. It was Son of Havoc and Pentagon.
Yeah.
I honestly like both. I like the Reptile Tribe a lot. Ever since I first saw Cobra Moon, I liked her. Um, the Mac, he just grew on me over time. I couldn't like the agility that big dude has is just insane, and I think he's a great athlete, great wrestler. Uh, Dante Fox and Killshot, it was just great to see them even still alive after what they were going through, and just to see them finally come together, win the trios tag titles with the Mac. I thought it all fell into place perfectly.
Yeah.
Definitely a great way to kick off the third night.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about Son of Havoc versus Pentagon Dark?
Honestly, I was a bit disappointed.
Were you?
Yeah. I mean, and I hate saying that because Pentagon and Son of Havoc usually put on some solid matches, but seeing this ladder match, and I was really hoping for this ladder match, but when I saw it, it was just it was exciting at first, especially with the stare down and how intense it was. But as the match went on, and actually, I was actually hyped up for the part when Pentagon was setting up all these different ladders in each of the ring posts.
Yeah, I like the reference to Terry Funk and when he threw in like a bunch of chairs.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I can't remember if it was Vampiro or Matt Striker, but they had given him a shout out, and that was pretty cool. Paying
yeah,
respect to the hardcore legends.
yeah, I appreciated that too. But I think the match it just went downhill because Pentagon was doing all of these things and somehow Son of Havoc kept getting the upper hand, so it looked pretty unbalanced
Oh, it
in
definitely
my
was.
view.
It was the mat. I think this was more of like on the spot of like because it seems like so much of what you'll see in Lucha Underground is uh so many of the stuff you could tell is just clearly planned out beforehand. That a
Yeah,
lot of the action isn't called just right off, you know, right on the spot by the wrestlers. It's actually stuff that they're building up to. I thought
yeah,
this match was more of like them working at their own pace, and really, I mean, there were certain things in it that I liked. I didn't think this was um I think this was supposed to be an entertaining main event for this night, but ultimately they weren't going to give us the great match that we wanted from Pentagon or Son of Havoc just because this is leading up to another night in Ultima Lucha where where Pentagon or Son of Havoc is granted you know, their shot.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit stale because I thought that if Pentagon Dark would have um, been dominating throughout the whole match or almost the whole match, and then maybe Son of Havoc would make his comeback,
I
then
mean that I think that's a little too predictable just from what we've already seen in Lucha Underground. I feel like
yeah,
Son of Havoc plays that part so much. It was honestly just it was different. I wouldn't say it was good, but it was different and just unique seeing two guys who have constantly fought to try and get that Lucha Underground championship.
yeah,
Like
or maybe
two guys
or
two guys who basically built the brand of Lucha Underground over
yeah,
the years. And these two were 50-50 throughout this match. So many times like it just threw you off guard because I feel like everybody had a reason to root for one or the other, you know,
yeah,
whether you're a fan of Pentagon or whether you just respect Son of Havoc after all he's done in Lucha Underground. That it was really just more of a slow paced match where they were just doing their thing, tried to keep it 50-50, and the fans still stayed somewhat interested. So,
yeah. I love the part when Pentagon Jr. sets up like chairs on top of each other, and then he
oh,
and then he just does the Pentagon pile driver. I lost at that point.
that
I was
has
like,
to go down as one of the most brutal spots of
oh,
Ultima Lucha. Dude, he could have
oh
broke
my
Son of
God.
Havoc's neck. He could have
Yeah,
killed
that
him,
was
man.
great. Oh my gosh, that was just brutal. That's probably the only part that I liked out of the whole match. But other than that, it was just emotionally. It had its
I like the part where they were climbing up the where they walked up the ladder in the turnbuckle, and
yeah,
then Son of Havoc like back suplex Pentagon through the table. I thought that was cool. Also, the few
yeah,
times that um Pentagon he tried to go after Son of Havoc, but Son of Havoc just met him with a chair shot like three different
yeah,
times. I thought it was cool.
yeah. Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about the match was how you would get emotionally hyped up for something, at least me, and then it would end in disappointment when Son of Havoc cuts off Pentagon Dark, and then Pentagon Dark doesn't get to do what he initially intended to. So it was like, oh, or come on, man,
Yeah,
are you serious? And but another thing I loved about the match, which made it for me, was when Pentagon Dark won the title belt, the title
yeah.
at the end of.
I I thought it was the ending too, like Pentagon setting up the two ladders, building that like walk path for them to like one person to be thrown through the table,
Yeah,
and you thought it was like like for a second I thought that Son of Havoc was because when he was first like when he had gotten back up and he started pulling Pentagon off the ladder, I thought it was going to be the other way around where Pentagon was going to go through the table and Son of
yeah,
Havoc was going to win. But for Pentagon to just keep fighting and throw Pentagon through the throw Son of Havoc through the table, I thought that was cool. And I was happy that Pentagon won, mainly because
yeah,
I'm
same here.
biased and he's my favorite. But
Yeah, I love Pentagon Dark more than I love Sunday.
no
I can't.
offense though, man. Son of Havoc is awesome.
Yeah, he's good, but he's not as good as Pentagon Dark. um,
I just think if you're if you've been following Lucha Underground and you like have a love for it, Pentagon has to be one
yeah,
of those guys that you really just look at as like it's
Yeah,
one of the top in Lucha Underground.
yeah. But what disappointed me, kind of, was how, um, as far as storylines go, they had a storyline with, between Pentagon. Had a great storyline between Pentagon Dark and Vampiro, and Pentagon Dark, basically says, "Screw you! You're no longer my master. I'm my own boss now."
Yeah.
And then it just went nowhere. It was I was
Well,
expecting it to go
I
some.
wouldn't say that. He had that few I think he had a few more matches with Prince Puma after that that were pretty
Oh,
good. There was the match that Pentagon had with Rey Mysterio. Uh
yeah,
oh yeah, and also Pentagon had to get payback against El Dragon Azteca because he had gotten his arms broken by him and the what was the chicks called?
the Black Lotus Triad,
Yeah, the Black Lotus Triad. They were they had broken his other
Guerrero.
arm, so he had to somewhat like return and like establish dominance again. Is
Yeah,
but like see that's the thing. I felt like only it only strengthened Vampiro's argument when he was fighting Pentagon because he said he's stubborn, he's not listening. He would always say when
yeah,
Pentagon gets cocky and he doesn't cover him with like a good pin, he would always call him
yeah,
out on it. So I thought like Pentagon ditching his master, but then going out and learning the hard way from losing to Mil Muertes, no, losing to Matanza, and then getting destroyed by the Black Lotus Triad and El Dragon Azteca, then returning to have great matches with Prince Puma, Rey Mysterio, El Dragon Azteca. I feel like it only strengthened Vampiro's whole part of the storyline and what he was trying to teach Pentagon. So now it was like a thing where Pentagon really just took control of his career and like had to learn all that stuff the hard way.
yeah. I thought that I love how Pentagon Dark, gradually ditches his master and it just goes through this evolution
Yeah,
character wise,
it's really what he
becoming,
has gone through.
yeah, more dark, more violent, more sinister, everything.
After the Pentagon match, you actually had Vampiro and Prince Puma. It was a quick promo to end out the night. And honestly, I think it was perfect timing because you had Pentagon finally reaching like the top of his, like you have him reaching his peak after he beat Son of Havoc, and he's finally got that one-on-one match. And it's not against someone like Matanza; it's against someone like Johnny Mundo for the Lucha Underground Championship. So
Yeah,
I think it's cool now that it's more believable that Pentagon has a chance at finally getting this Lucha Underground Championship, and it really just depends on what happens between uh, Prince Puma versus Johnny Mundo. And in Pen in Puma's corner, you got Vampiro teaching him now.
yeah,
So it's like, what is it going to be like when you had Prince Puma, who was already, no offense to Pentagon, but Prince Puma was always 2 steps ahead of him
yeah,
as far as Lucha Underground. So now, what is Prince Puma going to do with this knowledge and this training from Legend and this fearful dude in Vampiro, who's who's built up as a great master? Let's not you know disrespect Vampiro here. Uh, it's just going to be crazy to see how this plays out, man.
hell yeah! I'm definitely looking forward to Pentagon Dark versus Prince Puma because I really think something.
Because how cool would that be? Like you finally get Johnny Mundo away from that Lucha Underground Championship. Have Prince Puma be the guy to beat him. Then have it come back to where like it feels like it all started the two guys who really stand out on this brand as like the two guys you look at. It's kind of like Prince Puma and Pentagon Dark. If you watched Raw in 2006, they were like the Edge and John Cena.
Yeah.
They're basically the faces of this brand. They're the feud that always comes back and they always feud again. It's something that it feels like all of Lucha Underground within the storylines and the history, it always comes back to these two guys.
Yeah.
And
It's
if they both had training from Vampiro to see what they both could put, like just the story they could tell, man, is beyond. It's beyond any WrestleMania match I've ever considered to be worthy of watching. It's way above that. And this is in a smaller temple, you know. It just shows you how great Lucha Underground is.
yeah. I loved how there was there was a gradual progression with Prince Puma too. Like when he had Conan as his manager, he was just doing whatever Conan told him to, or he was being whoever Conan wanted him to be.
Yep.
And
They
after,
both started out. They both started out like second hand to their masters, and
yeah,
they were students learning the game.
yeah,
Prince Puma was the one who found the early success. Pentagon, he had to really struggle for his,
yeah, struggle for his place. But that's what I loved about both of them is how similar they were to each other, and
but
how,
also while being so different though,
yeah, yeah,
because
and
their paths were so different. Because like, did Prince Puma ever turn on Conan?
not necessarily, but he did ditch him like before Ultimate. I
But it
think
wasn't nothing like Vampiro versus Pentagon, right?
no,
Okay, see, so you can see the difference. It's like Pentagon literally tried to kill his master. He's like cutting him open and then licking his blood.
yeah,
Like
dude,
Pentagon was on some next level sick shit.
yeah, but what I loved about that was how Prince Puma, you know, after losing to Mil Muertes, it's like he was never the same. He got dark,
Yeah,
he got angrier, he got more grisly, grittier, you name it.
yeah,
He he became more. It's like he was becoming more of an anti-hero slash heel, and
yeah.
that's what
In a
I.
sense, but they've kind of made him a face again by having him go against Johnny Mundo.
Yeah,
It's like because Johnny Mundo has been doing every dirty trick in the book. He's clearly a heel. People love to boo him. So I, I
yeah,
think it I think it's something where he's established how he's completely in it now. Prince
yeah,
Puma is completely in it. Like he's 100% aware of what he's got to do, and this is basically his prime.
yeah,
So like whatever we see from him is Prince Puma at his best is what I feel they've been trying to build up this whole time because he now has knowledge from two great trainers like Conan and then now Vampiro. He's had the Lucha Underground Championship before. He's beaten not Prince Puma. He's beaten Johnny Mundo before. So like they've just built him up. This is his peak, man. Just
yeah,
like Pentagon, they're both at their peak. It's ready for shit to pop off.
yeah. I'm really hoping to see more of the feud between Vampiro, Pentagon, and Prince Puma unfold because I feel like they have some unsettled business to take care of,
Yeah.
especially when that night of Ultima Lucha Dos, the last night when they're wrapping everything up, and then Pentagon Dark shows up and kicks Vampiro and
Oh
just
yeah.
crap out of him, and with the chair, barbed wire. And, oh my god, that was just brutal. Just hearing those shots, to his back and everything, and then he just bloodies him up and with a barbed wire bat and everything, and then he just says, he basically says, "You no longer have a master, and your blood
Yeah,
is."
man, that was brutal.
That was just, and then he takes the blood from his forehead and starts licking it and crap. Oh, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yo, that was probably one of the most brutal segments of Lucha Underground.
yeah, I agree, man. What do you think about night three as a whole? We had the Sexy Star versus Taya match. Then we had Dante Fox, kill shot, and the Mac winning the trios tag titles. Then you had Pentagon versus Son of Havoc, and then that promo.
Um, it was overall, it was okay. It
So
wasn't.
so this night didn't really compare to the previous two for you.
Yeah, I felt
Okay.
like I felt like overall season three was somehow, it was okay. It was great at first, but then it just started, slipping a little bit. It's just, it wasn't as energetic, and the fire, the passion, it 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 wasn't on the same level as seasons one and two. I'm gonna put it that way. It felt like,
I can't really speak for season one. I think as far as season two, yeah, it's more of like I could you could say it's a little bit of a downgrade from what they were putting out before, but
yeah,
I think the wrestlers and the storylines that they were given were enough to consider them successful seasons, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, I do think that they were doing the best they could with season three, but
Yeah,
even though I didn't really agree with some of the stuff they're doing, like like I was telling you earlier, they kind of dropped some of the storylines that they had before, like with Black Lotus, Matanza, and Dragon Azteca, that little feud they had going on. I
yeah.
thought I expected something to go down, like a match between Black Lotus
Do you know if
and
the Black Lotus Triad are even still like part of Lucha Underground?
no. And that's the thing I don't like about Lucha Underground, is how, they'll bring stuff like this. They'll bring new characters and stuff, but then after a while, you just see them disappear. You don't see them after a while. And
Yeah, I would say to that though, like it's so hard to predict for like a company. I'm pretty sure like Lucha Underground, it's so hard to tell if a talent's gonna want to stay because like you never know if they're given a storyline they don't like, they could probably just not want to continue,
yeah,
or you could have some like so they're kind of put in a position where not all their storylines are going to come out exactly how they wanted because certain people's contracts, some people, uh, they might have to do work here or there, or they might have busy schedules while they're filming a season. And so, I mean, I feel like it's so hard for Lucha Underground to avoid those kind of errors, but they got to
yeah,
do a better, for fans like you, they got to do a better way of transitioning the story into something else. Would you say I'm correct on that?
right.
Yeah.
I feel like if they somehow transitioned it to some other storyline,
Or at
then
least just address why this feud isn't progressing, like within the storyline. Like
yeah,
create something else within it. Have
yeah,
it be like a roadblock.
right. Because it was going somewhere, and like I legit thought that Black Lotus was gonna get her revenge or something like that, and then it just didn't happen, and I was mad disappointed. So I think if they would have explained in a way why, why it wouldn't work, like you said, then I would be okay with it. But it's all, some storylines they had great potential,
Hmm.
but it seemed all jumbled up to a point where it's almost as if they were trying to make you forget about it and just focus on something different.
I think tonight is actually the 2 hour Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully,
So like we're gonna be getting some crazy shit tonight, man. This
yeah,
is this is the payoff. This is like where it all comes to a conclusion.
the best night of the whole season. Hopefully, I'm looking
Yeah, I
at
mean,
it.
I don't know. It's gonna be so hard to top what I've seen so far from Ultima Lucha. I mean, I think honestly because Lucha Underground is so different from WWE and it's just so much better. I don't care what anybody says. It's like 1,000 times better.
Yeah,
Like I would watch Lucha Underground a million times before I would watch anything WWE related.
yeah,
And it's
same here.
so I feel like sometimes I have like this blind bias towards Lucha Underground because I love everything that they do. Like it's hard to it's hard for me to ever go against what Lucha Underground is doing. It really is. It's crazy how much I've become like a fanboy to their product. It's and I'm not even ashamed to admit it because when I'm given so much great content as a fan, I should be fanboying out over this. Like this is what I should be talking about on the daily, trying to get other friends into and stuff like that. That's what makes Lucha Underground so great. It's kind of reminiscent to like the Attitude Era, where no fucks are given. This is the place where you all come to the temple and crazy shit's about to happen.
Yeah,
And I love that. I mean, that's what makes me want Lucha Underground to never go away. If
same
if
here.
if it was up to me, and if I even had the money, I would fund Lucha Underground to actually make movies, like
Oh,
actual movies, where like, what if there's a concept where they're kicked out of the temple and they got to fight in the parking lot or something like that? Like you could put this into movies and it'd be just as great as the show.
yeah. I don't know.
And like, it might be even easier for like time and easier for like, because if nobody wants to get behind them and fund another season, why not do a few movies? It'd be you can only imagine it'd probably cost less because you don't have to do a full season of shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Plus, it could be something you still work out with the El Rey network and they show it.
yeah,
I
totally.
think it would be a really great idea for him, but and I think Lucha Underground, like if Lucha Underground dies, there's going to be something like it afterward. And the reason
Yeah,
I know that is because if I have to myself, I will make sure there is something like Lucha Underground that exists because the stuff that they've given us has just changed wrestling forever. People can honestly hate on that, but nobody's doing the kind of stuff Lucha Underground has done.
yeah, I totally agree with you. Lucha Underground is probably one of the best wrestling programs of this generation,
Yep.
hands down. No other company, and matter of fact, I think other companies are trying to copy off of it.
Which is
remember that?
good.
Yeah, it's good because
I mean, you don't want to rip them off and like make it look bad, but because like
yeah, like
in a sense, you could have said that the Hardys were somewhat biting off the Lucha Underground with their whole broken because certain things that they
yeah,
did, even though it wasn't shot like Lucha Underground, it was somewhat similar to Lucha Underground.
yeah,
So I mean, I
yeah,
think it's I think it you're totally right when you see certain things that Lucha Underground has done being used by other companies and stuff like that.
Yeah, and especially like I was talking to this fan who said that he went to some indie promotions and they were copying off of Lucha Underground's Believers Backlash match. So I thought it
Oh,
was really dope. That match was not creative. I'll never forget that match, even though I wasn't a fan of Hernandez or Drago, but
yeah,
just the creativity and the concept and the way the fans were all getting involved in it, that was crazy. That was just
yeah. What did you think about the concept match that they had? It was like a police brawl between Joey Ryan and Castro.
oh that match. That
I
was
thought that was unique too on how they like had like actual police weapons and stuff like that. They had a police car. I thought that was awesome.
yeah. Yo, that was brutal when I think Castro he pours the coffee down his jug. I said, oh,
That shit was brutal. I was laughing.
oh, I lost at that point, and then he tasered him right in the nuts. I said, oh my
Oh shit, that was hilarious.
yo, it was just out of control. Even though
Yeah,
I'm not really, I wasn't really into that match. I mean, as much as I was into other wrestlers, because I'm not a fan of either of them, but I thought that was really creative.
yeah. I
And
mean, I'm a fan of both of them. I think it took a while for anybody to really uh get behind Cortez, but he was a good character and they used him quite a bit. So I thought that was cool that he finally got the win. Joey Ryan, man, he's just that dude has changed wrestling forever. Just his dick flips and shit like that. Like like how people will like how people will actually play into his gimmick. Uh, the whole freaking dropping the lollipop in his shorts in his trunks before he wrestles. Lathering himself up with oil and shit. I mean, he's like the master of making you uncomfortable if you're like a fan of wrestling. It's like that's like that one cringy superstar you'll always see, but he just owns it so well, and he's just being himself. So I mean, it's what his brand is built off of is him just being this outrageous character within wrestling. So I
yeah,
like it for
yeah,
what it
but
is.
yeah, I just don't like the last part they did with that storyline between Castro, Dario, and
What did they do? Because I don't think I remember.
okay, basically it was good because we find out that Castro and the other dude, forgot his name. I think it was Cortez. They were
Oh
actually
yeah,
not Cortez.
there was Cortez Castro, and there was
Forgot.
the chunkier dude. I can't
Yeah,
remember
him.
his name.
It was those guys with Joey Ryan, and we find out that Joey Ryan and Castro uh were undercover cops. So it was like, oh crap, something's about to go
Yeah.
down. And then it gets really interesting because Dario finds out that
Oh yeah, that Cortez is a cop, and then because Joey Ryan snitched him out, and
yeah,
then like Cortez gets like I think he gets destroyed like two different times when he tries to go under a different mask, and
yeah.
yeah,
I
it was
thought
crazy.
I thought something more drastic was gonna happen, like like Castro was gonna get killed or something.
Oh, I thought that too. After seeing what they did to the other dude, I was
yeah,
like, no, this is
yeah,
where Castro dies. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you would
But
expect something like that to happen, but it doesn't, and
yeah, I
that's
thought
what
it
kind
was cool. I thought it was cool though that it eventually led to Cortez getting his revenge on Joey Ryan.
yeah, but then they should have at least did a scene where where that they actually try to kill Castro or something like that, because it's like how you have all these death scenes, like the part when Cage kills that dude that they gave him the gauntlet or something. Ugh, I don't know.
The Gauntlet, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how do you not have uh a death scene like this with Castro? It doesn't really
Yeah, I see what you mean.
fit into my expectations of how this whole storyline should go down. But I mean, it's not like, so it was interesting, but then it just gradually became, it just didn't, it kind of like some storylines in Lucha Underground, they don't really make that much sense. But
Yeah,
I
I
just rolled.
mean, you just I feel like sometimes you got to search for like because me and you like we'll talk about Lucha Underground and certain things will pop up in our head and remind us of something else that had happened
Yeah,
that like led to this and stuff like that. It's really where if you're good at paying attention to storylines and like remembering the little things, you're probably gonna love Lucha Underground. But if you're well, like a fan who like with good storylines, you also expect consistency
yeah,
and you expect it to be clear. Lucha
right,
Underground doesn't always do the best job at that.
yeah. And
So what did you
um,
think of the previous uh nights that we talked about of Ultima Lucha? Has it been good so far? Mediocre? Bad? Where do you rate it?
probably,
Just so far,
I,
not judging what we're gonna see tonight.
I, I would say decent. It's
Decent.
not, it's, I mean, so far none of my actual favorite wrestlers have appeared, but on the ground props for getting me interested in wrestlers that I didn't really care about, like Dante Fox and Killshot and Marty the Moth and Phoenix and all those people. Like those matches themselves they were just so well done that it's hard not to give credit to where credit is due.
Yeah, I totally agree. Me, I feel like these previous nights leading up to tonight, tonight's Ultima Lucha 2 hour event, I feel like this was better than any kickoff match that I've seen from WWE. Anything like even any WrestleMania you want to like put out there. And I know this is like a controversial statement, but any WrestleMania you put out there, nothing has even that I've seen in WWE has come close to what we've seen in just these 3 nights of Ultima Lucha.
Yeah,
I
screw
see I
WWE.
see more I see more diversity. I see more time being filled with actual meaningful moves and stuff like that. It's not where, oh, I'm gonna sit you in a headlock for 5 minutes, then we're gonna go
Yeah,
to the corner for two, then we're gonna go out of the ring for five. It's like I don't want you scheduling every single thing in the match and having it be slowed and drawn out. I'd rather go to Lucha Underground where I can see it in fast pace, slow pace when you need it, but only when you need it. The majority of it is going to be quick. You're going to see the action go by pretty fast. A lot of spots that you see are pre planned and stuff like that. And it just looks better when it comes to the action. It gets you more invested. You reach more of like high points of like adrenaline rush when you're watching the action. I remember when I first was watching Pentagon versus Vampiro. just the brutality of that match and seeing how Pentagon would just take it to another level after
Yeah.
another level. It made me reach this high point of just adrenaline enjoying the show that I was worn out by the end. It was like I was in the match with him. I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, man. I'm like, well, I need a nap after this.
Yo, that yeah, and I also think that as far as that goes, you would have to keep up with all the wrestlers in their previous works, work in Mexico or wherever, in order to truly grasp how the magnitude of the matches that they were having in Lucha Underground. Like if you followed Vampiro from his earliest days to his time in WCW, um, and his indie work and his time in AAA and all around the world, it was just you would know what kind of person he is and what he's willing to put his body through.
Yeah, I
And
also feel like the same on what you're talking about with Vampiro and just the superstars that came from Mexico and stuff like that. I
yeah,
think the same could also be said for someone who's like take the opposite stance watch and like for people who grew up watching WWE and someone like Rey Mysterio,
yeah,
someone like Chavo Guerrero and Johnny Mundo, Alberto El Patron, and you got these guys' backstories and just the matches that they've been a part of, but to now see them in a brand new atmosphere where it's a actual show and they actually are playing characters. It's it shows you how big their work is now, even with someone like Vampiro and stuff like that. It's like it's so diverse that if you're a WWE fan, there's a chance you can get into it. If you're a fan of Mexico wrestling in Mexico, there's definitely a chance for you to be a fan of this. It's bringing so many things together. I feel like where they probably haven't been as diverse is more with like UK type
yeah,
performers. Like we need at least one or two of those. Let's get one or two at least, because that's really all you're missing from this hugely diverse show. Like you got so many different characters on different ends of the spectrum. It's like you're just missing a little bit, and then you'll be complete.
heck yeah. And I think as far as Lucha Underground goes, and with all these different wrestlers, um, I guess it's hard for them to showcase their work in AAA or whatever promotion they came from. Their history as wrestlers and just how popular they are to to the Lucha Underground fan base
Yep.
and America. And, for some people, they did a good job, like Tejano and Alberto Patron and Rey
I feel like the
Mysterio.
old faces are still looked at with so much respect too, though, because
Yeah,
um, we haven't got to see what's his name, King Cuerno. We haven't seen him in the
yeah,
longest time, and I think he isn't even part of season three. So
no,
like I even posted a picture of him on like Instagram and Twitter, and the love like because like a lot of my posts, because I don't have a lot of followers right now, they
yeah,
don't really get that much attention. But I posted a picture with him, and those got like 6 likes like in a
dang,
matter of like 2 minutes. So I was like, at least there are still people out there that remember King Cuerno and still like him. So
yeah,
like even if you're a new fan getting into it, you're gonna get to go back and you're gonna get to watch these wrestling shows that are put in like a TV show. So you're gonna get to go back and just binge watch all these shows, and like fans who are just catching on to it, they're gonna have a totally different perspective than we have,
yeah,
because because we've somewhat followed it while we've gone back and looked at like what we needed to watch and stuff like that. That it's just crazy the different types of fans that Lucha Underground has, and I see every day people are becoming fans of Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I love how um, Lucha Underground manages to bring like all these different fan bases. You know, like they'll bring in, they attract the the AAA fans, but they also attract the Lucha Underground fans and American wrestling fans. So it's a mix of
Well, yeah, I mean, you like if you like what you see in like PWG, a lot of that those kind of moves are used in Lucha Underground.
yeah,
Plus, you got people who come from that background in like Pentagon. Well, he didn't come from there, but he goes there and they know of him. So that style is definitely going to be checked. Like all the people who are a fan of PWG, if they like someone like Pentagon, Phoenix, Sammy Callahan, aka Jeremiah Green, uh, they're definitely going to go check out Lucha Underground if they see, oh shit, Johnny Mundo versus Pentagon. Like I got to see that. Or like there's just so much uh different, like because they've gone to so many different promotions. There's
yeah.
so many fans out there that are just waiting to click that button and see what Lucha Underground is doing. Real quick though, before we end it, because I'm kind of running out of time, but
Okay.
I wanted to know who are your favorite like top three favorite singles competitors in Lucha Underground.
It would have to be number one is Mil Muertes, hands down. Number
Awesome.
two would have to be Sexy Star,
Okay.
and the third one would have to be Pentagon Junior, Pentagon Dark.
Okay. For me, it's Pentagon is number one. Then it's hard to say, but I'll go Mariposa for number two. And then number three, I have to go with Phoenix. And those are like my top three singles competitors. Um, then I wanted to ask you, who's your top three teams from Lucha Underground? Any season.
Um, wow, teams.
And if you don't have three, at least one or two.
Huh, it's a tough choice.
I'll go first and say that my just two that come to my mind right away. The Rabbit Tribe has got to be one of my favorites. Uh, Back when Mil Muertes has had those three skull dudes, they had to be my favorites at one point. And
Yeah, I
then
would have to say. Oh, go ahead.
also seeing Phoenix, Aerostar, and Drago all on a team that I feel was another great team.
Yeah, I'd have to say the gosh, I'd probably have to say the Mil Muertes.
Oh, his team of skull dudes.
Yeah, Sinestro de la Muerte
Yeah,
and that other guy. I can't remember his name, but
yeah, they
probably
were
that.
dope, dude.
But I don't know. I can't really say.
I feel like what most people would say would be like Son of Havoc and Helico and Evilise.
Yeah,
I feel like
I,
people would say that. Uh, the Worldwide Underground. Um,
yeah,
there's been so many different teams. Now you got the Mac, Killshot, and Dante Fox. You got the Reptile Tribe. Actually, I have to change my teams now. I have to say the Reptile Tribe is my number one now. Then the uh the Reptile Tribe, then the Rabbit Tribe, then the skull dudes from Mel Martez old flick. Like
Yeah,
it's so hard, man. It's so hard to choose because there's so many great, superstars.
yeah, I feel you on that.
But yeah, that's all the time I got, bro.
All right, well, hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. I know it was longer than usual, but
Hey, but we killed it. We killed
yeah.
this.
Okay. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below in the comment section. And with that, peace out.
Peace out.